Our relationship with Gibson keeps growing, and today we're excited to show you our first made-to-measure dealer select run. What is it? It's a J-45 with a thermally aged Adirondack red spruce top and advanced bracing. Check out empiremusic.com for everything Gibson, and we're gonna get you hooked up. It's Joe from Empire Music. Let's do it. Man, holding this guitar makes you understand why a J-45 is one of the most recorded guitars in history. The transparency, the woodiness of this guitar is unparalleled. I mean, it's just a really, really unique sounding instrument. J-45s sound like J-45s, and there just aren't substitutes for them. And we were really excited. You know, we've really worked with Gibson over the last handful of years. And for those of you who know, like, Gibson has this kind of this reputation as being kind of aloof and just kind of, you know, in this mystery, right? And it's a little bit like that for sure. And as we've evolved with them and we grow our business with them, and you guys all support us here at the shop with our Gibson products, you know, we continue to have these conversations that leads to us having opportunities in the custom shop. And that's really where we thrive. We really understand tone woods, we understand guitar builds, and we're able to put them to use when given the right opportunities. And that means a lot of stars have to align. Justin and I have been just hammering away at the Gibson guys to get into this made-to-measure dealer select program, and here we are. And we wanted to start where everyone should start, with the Gibson, the J-45. It's kind of like if you want a Martin guitar, you can start at a D28 and then explore from there, right? It's like it's tried and true. That gives you an essence of the brand. Well, J-45 to me is the essence of Gibson guitars. They're round-shouldered, short-scaled dreadnought guitars, and I always think like brands have kind of these types of sounds that you expect with them, and with Gibson, it's always woody. To me, like the mahogany and maple guitars that Gibson makes totally embody the type of sound you expect from them. So it's really easy to, like, artists use them live, and why players love them in the studio, because they're super articulate. They really respond to the pick. And to me, it's just like the sound that you get out of this guitar is so profound and also unique to it that it is really kind of, I don't want to say easy to buy one, but it's just like a J-45 fits in any collection of any tier quality that you want to invest in. A J-45 makes sense in any collection because it's not going to be duplicated by something else there, right? So when we talked to the custom shop about this made-to-measure program, we wanted to elevate it with an Adirondack top that was, you know, so the red spruce, thermally aged, so a baked top, gives you that vintage experience. I'll get a little bit more into that later, but powerful. And as we talked to them more, we want to just add more power and more roundness and fullness, and we landed on the advanced wide bracing, which basically takes the X brace and widens the X point out, leaving the belly of the guitar open and giving you way more power and way more bottom end. Oftentimes, the advanced bracing comes on models that come with standard scale, but we kept the standard short scale on this one here, so we didn't change the spec there. A lot of times you see the wide bracing, you get a 25.5 inch scale, you're still at 24 3/4 here. What makes this guitar special? To me, let's start right out of the gate. 6 powerful voices immediately. You know, it's just like you have incredible transparency, but also this roundness to it, which is this line that we all want to straddle. You want the guitar to sound fat, but you don't want it to sound soupy. You know, that's why the studio and live performances are so important, because if you sound sludgy, you're gonna struggle to articulate. Here, 6 beautiful notes. They don't step it's almost like each note's frequency, it goes right up to the edge of the next note, and it gives it its space that blends beautifully. And then what the Adirondack does is gives you this ability to open the guitar up. It never loses its clarity. A long time ago, a customer put a powerful guitar in their hands. And they said, "You can't insult this guitar." And I always thought that was like a really interesting way of looking at it. And they were alluding to the fact that, you know, really the headroom is just so over the top that it's just like it's not going to get garbled up on you. It's not going to break up. And I think this is a really, really excellent example of that. And by baking that top, what we're doing is we're taking the mineral deposits, we're taking the moisture content, and we're just wicking them out through that slow bake process. And in doing that, we're getting to a consistency in the wood and a makeup of the genetic composition of the wood that rivals an instrument that's from the 40s and 50s. That's kind of like the goal of all of the torrefaction that happens in these guitars. So now you have a really woody, mostly wood, you know, it's like if you think about how much moisture content and mineral contents in a standard spruce top, you know, it's just a lot more than in one of these torrefied guitars. And that's why you feel the immediate response. These are really light because you're wicking, again, the moisture content out of there, you're lightening it up. So you can really, really tell in playing. That's why you can pick through notes like this that have some beautiful sparkle, but they don't sound tinny and thin. Sounds really mature, even though we're playing lightly, right? And that's kind of, you know, if you could take vintage guitar tops and put them on new guitars with their construction and build quality, you'd have something. The obstacle with vintage guitars a lot of times that people might not recognize is the quality was all over the place. You know what I mean? It's just like if you picked up 10 Gibson guitars from the 1940s, you know, they had varying build consistencies, whereas now they've really got these consistencies, you know, tightened and just really well done. So you have that maturity from the top, and then from the advanced wide bracing, that just smashing bass. I mean, it's just awesome. It's just like this big bass drum hitting you in the stomach when you're playing. But again, you have the ability to hammer on in here. It doesn't get lost in there, right? It's just like you get the thump, but you still keep focused. So when you're playing live, this has an LR Baggs VTC in it, so it's gonna sound great live. You know, LR Baggs makes, I think, the best. It's our choice for aftermarket pickups, and they come in the Gibson, which is great. So when you're playing the guitar live, if that's how you choose to use it, you're going to get that representation, right? If you're going to use it in the studio, you mic it up. This thing's just, it's an animal. It can do anything. There's just nothing that this guitar can't do. It's just going to give you that woodiness up and down the neck. You hear it all the way. You can hear regardless of what part of the fingerboard you're playing on, what register you're in, you're getting that response, and you're getting the Gibson essence, that warmth and tone and woodiness, but you're not losing the definition. I always hammer that definition because I think that's what makes a great guitar great. It's just, you know, hearing all the notes should be a prerequisite. You know what I mean? And oftentimes in guitars, they sound a certain way. They're like, you like a basic guitar, you can get bass. You like a, you know, bright guitar, you can get bright. But eventually, you know, it's just like you want the notes to have character and body, but you want them to all be heard, right? The feel on the guitar is amazing because with the short scale, we get a couple of advantages. We get easier slinky know, it's not as tight when the strings aren't pulled as taut. And then you obviously get more bottom end out of that short scale guitar. So you get a warmer sounding instrument overall. And this guitar gets moving right away. I mean, you can feel like you've got a lacquer finish on it, which is organic and porous. You've got the wide bracing that's got this belly pushing all this air out, right? You've got this baked red spruce top on here that is just massively powerful, all working together, just shouting out with ease and giving you as a player the control over the instrument, which I think is really, really something we should all strive for, right? If we want to sound we're not limited playing lightly and opening it up. It's dynamite. It's a great sounding guitar. It can do anything. This is a guitar that deserves to be heard. I mean, it's just like it should be recorded, should be played live, should be played in your living room to your dogs and cats, whoever. You can get an audience in front of this guitar, get it there, because its historical significance is obvious. And I don't like to do a lot of back padding, but our first run here with the Gibson Custom Shop on these, we only did 5 pieces, right? So we did 5 J-45 Empire Spec made to measure guitars. We did the striped teardrop pickguard, which is a tasty little add-on. Obviously you have all the other finished, you know, rosewood fingerboard, rosewood bridge, the slim tapered neck, Rover tuners, all those things, a custom shop case, which is great. You can see the individual serial numbers on the website of what we have in stock. We compared these in store, and maybe Justin will do a video depending on if these sell out like in 2 seconds, then we won't have the time to, but so let's hope for that. But if not, we can compare them to Murphy Lab guitars, and these compare very favorably. You know, we were really, really proud of the fact that they came out so well. And just want to thank, you know, Don Rafato at the Gibson Custom Shop. He's the head of that acoustic division in Montana, and he worked personally on this with us, which we were really, really grateful for. And got an amazing wood selection. We got an amazing quality build. We have a beautiful instrument that's timeless, and it can fit in any collection. And this guitar, you know, something at this point in selling guitars in my personal career, when I know a guitar is going to get played 100 years from now, that makes me really happy. So almost all the guitars that I buy now, I think, like, are my 2 daughters going to play them when they're not 3.5 and 1 anymore. You know, it's like, will they play them when they're 50 years old? I really hope so. And that's the kind of quality that I like to enjoy. And I think an instrument like this falls absolutely into that category, that one day in 2110, someone's going to be playing this instrument and saying, man, this is so special. And that's exciting, because the J-45 will be one of the most important instruments in music history then it is now, as it was when it launched in 1942. So please check out empiremusic.com. We love working with custom shop guitars across all of our brands. We are proud to really have a great handle on build quality, internal structure guitars, and tone woods. Hit us up at the shop. We know we dial everything in. We have a trade-in portal. We carry the brands that we believe in super deep, so you get a great selection. We're going to help you find the right Gibson guitar for you. If you haven't subscribed to our channels, please do. We have a really cool Instagram channel that we do a lot with too, so check that out. And reels and shorter stuff, if that is your vibe. You can always chat with us. This right. I'm Joe from Empire Music, 412-343-5299. Feel free to reach out and hit us up. Like, we're available in the chat. You can call me directly, of course, at the shop. Myself and Justin worked on this guitar specifically, so if you ask for us, we will get you the ins and outs specifically of this one here. So it's our first Gibson Custom Shop made to measure dealer select. Dealer select means that you did more than one of them. So that's what that is. J-45 with a thermally aged red spruce top and advanced wide bracing here at Empire Music. Thanks so much for watching.